All right, guys, here we go. We're going to take a ride on the train to Living History Days.
Bye, Dave.
Good to see you. Hi friends, it's good to be back with you again. We got a really neat thing to look at today. When you went to school today, you probably rode the bus, or maybe your mom or dad took you in a car to get there. We have some really old cars. This is my friend Doc Fontaine, and Doc's going to talk to us some about these old cars. These are cars that are probably older than your grandma and grandpa, maybe older than my grandma and grandpa, but it's how we used to get around in the days just after the horse and the buggy. So if you think about a horse and a buggy and no cars at all, when the first cars started being made, a lot of them look like this. So Doc, what kind of car is this?
Well, this is a 1926 Model T Ford. And they made about 15 million of these over the years from 1909 to 1927. So this was early day transportation. This put America on wheels. For sure.
So if I went just a few years before 1926, back to say 1900, there weren't really cars on the road at all to speak of, was there?
Not very many. And it was, you had to be fairly rich to have a car. They were very expensive.
But when Henry Ford made this, did that change that for people?
Oh yes, these were quite affordable. And Henry Ford wanted to make these available to the average man. So they were pretty cheap even in the beginning, and later on they sold for as little as $260.
That's not very expensive today.
No, it wasn't very expensive then either. So
now when I look at this, Doc, it looks kind of different than our cars today. Like I noticed it's got headlights, like we have headlights.
Yeah. But
the whole front here kind of looks a little bit different. Most of our cars, you know, are round and kind of sloped and curved.
Right.
So well, what is this piece out here?
Well, this is the radiator. This is where you get rid of all the heat so it doesn't boil over. And you pull air through this radiator. And your modern car, your dad's car at home, has the same thing. It's just hidden inside behind a big grill. So
okay. And it's got a bumper, but it's kind of a really basic bumper, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's a spring steel bumper. It's pretty sturdy, actually. If you push on a modern car with another car, you got a big bill coming because it ruins it. But these can take a lot of punishment.
And then I noticed there's some kind of a handle down here. I don't know if our friends can see this, but if you look past the bumper, what is this for?
This is the crank, and you can start a Model T Ford with a crank if you don't have a battery. And a lot of the early cars didn't have batteries. So I didn't have starters, so you had to start them with this crank.
Is it very hard to start it that way?
Well, if it's in good working order, no.
Okay. And I was kind of looking at the tires. They look kind of different too. I see a rubber tire, but this looks like it's made out of wood.
Oh, it's all skinny, and the tire is skinny and tall, and the spokes in the wheel are wooden in this particular case. And some of the later cars had wire wheels, but this one has wooden wheels.
So that's almost like how the old wagons had wooden wheels, and then we went to tires on cars.
Exactly.
It's kind of right in between, isn't it?
That's right.
So we have an engine under the hood. It looks like a little 4-cylinder engine.
That's right.
Is that about the size of an engine today?
Well, in many respects, it's bigger than the 4-cylinder engines we have in small cars today, but it doesn't make much power.
How much power does it make?
It makes 20 horsepower.
20 horsepower. I think my lawnmower at home is 20 horsepower.
Yeah, they aren't very powerful, but in the day, why, they were pretty good.
So how fast would this go down the road?
Well, on flat ground with no wind, they'll go 40 miles an hour or a little more.
40 miles an hour, which we drive a lot of places 30 or 40 miles an hour, but it wouldn't go on the interstate, would it?
No, you get run over on the interstate, that's for sure.
Well, how about if we talk about the inside of the car just a little bit, and maybe we can get a view of some of the controls and the steering wheel and the pedals. Hey, this is kind of a weird place to be in a car, but this is inside where we sit, and there's all kinds of pedals and levers and things like that. I've got my friend Dennis here, and he's going to help explain to us how you would drive a Model T. Dennis, where are you at?
I'm right here. And Model T, this is, if you need the emergency brake, you pull it all the way back. If you put the lever halfway back, that's neutral. If you go all the way forward, that's high gear. These pedals, if you push the pedal down all the way to the floor, that's the low gear in the car. Halfway up here is neutral, and then you let the pedal all the way out and you're in high gear going down the road. And if you want to go reverse, you push in neutral, which is halfway on the pedal, and you push the reverse pedal down and you go backwards. And this pedal here is your brake. You have a transmission brake, and you have an emergency brake right here. And Model Ts are pretty simple, and this is the throttle here. Control the throttle, and they have a little spark advance here on this side of the car, and this is the horn button.
That's a funny horn.
Yeah, and
so this is a lot different than our cars are. Most of our cars have just a gas pedal and a brake pedal.
yes,
This has all kinds of things you have to do.
yeah, it was, like I said, just before the buggies.
So were they easy to drive, or did you have to really kind of pay attention to what you were doing?
Oh, you had to pay attention to what you were doing and get the feel of it, but once you got the feel of it, it was just like riding a bicycle, you know. And like I said, they were dependable little cars.
They got us around, didn't they?
This is a windshield wiper. If it's raining out, you crank it back and forth just to keep the raindrops off your windshield. And like I said, it's before they had electric motors on windshield wipers.
Well, hey, it's been really fun learning about how these old cars used to work and what they did, but the best part is what we're going to do next. Dennis here has offered to take us for a ride, so once you guys come with me, we're going to go take a ride in an old Model T car. Here we go.
Wherever. Got the pedal all the way to the floor, and that's the low gear.
Living History Days. I'm so glad you came on this trip with us. I hope you learned some things today. I hope it was a lot of fun. I hope you'll come back and see us again sometime. And maybe someday you can come out here in person and get to ride the train and see some of the very neat things we've gotten to share with you. Hope you have a great day. We'll see you.